What is text? A text is anything that conveys a set of meaning to the person who examines it. You might have thought that texts were limited to written materials such as books, magazines, newspapers, and signs. An informal term of magazines that refers especially to fanzines and websites. Those items are indeed text, but so are movies, painting, television shows, songs, political cartoons, online materials, advertisements, maps, works of art, and even room full of people. According to Rose 2015, a text is any human-readable sequence of characters or even glyphs which are associated with ancient writing culture. Text, when used in information technology, is distinct from non-character encoded data such as graphics image in the form of bitmaps and program codes. The textual medium offers an easier and more flexible use in terms of content production, which is why it is ideal for learning. Text is one of the elements of multimedia products that can be combined with several other elements to present information and create an impression or impact. There are three types of text. First is plain text, consisting of fixed-size characters having essentially the same type of appearance. When we say plain text, from the word itself, plain, hindi mo na siya pinapalitan ng other fonts and nagsistick na siya like sa font niya na halimbawa is Arial. Hindi mo na siya pinapalitan ng other fonts like Copperplate, Gothic bold fonts, and Arial rounded empty bold. Magsistick na siya as an Arial lamang. Next is formatted text. Appearance can be changed using font parameters. So when we say formatted text, dito is kabaliktaran naman siya ng plain text. Ginagamitan na natin siya ng other fonts. Pinapalitan natin siya, such as Franklin Gothic Method, Copperplate Gothic Bold, Arial Rounded Empty Bold, Comic Sans MS, other is Algerian, Arial Black, and lastly, Arial Rounded Empty Bold. But marami pa rin namang other fonts na pwede nating magamit. So, that's what we call formatted text. Next is hypertext. Serves to link different electronic documents and enable users to jump from one to the other in a non-linear way. So, when we say hypertext, ito yung madalas nakikita na natin to. Halimbawa, is sa FB, may makikita tayong link siya na kadalasan or minsan kulay blue siya, tas once na pinindot natin, mapupunta tayo sa other apps. Ganon. Halimbawa is, nasa Facebook ka and then nagpindot ka na isang link, parang mapupunta ka, for example, sa Shopee. That's what we called hypertext. The anatomy of fonts. Before we delve into the world of font types and font styles, it can be helpful to understand a few things about the anatomy of type. All fonts sit on an invisible plane called a baseline. Think of it as the blue lines on your loose leaf paper and have an invisible center line called a mean line. So as we can see in the picture, yung mga line na nakikita natin, ito daw is, ang tawag dito is baseline. And yung nasa gitna naman, which is yung pagitan ng dalawang lines, this is what we called mean line. Next, the cap height is the top plane of the capital letter, like the straight line on the top of a capital T. The crossbar is the line in the center that crosses a capital H or A. Some letters, like a lowercase h or b, have what we call an ascender, a line that crosses above the mean line. Others have descenders, which you guess it. So, yung nasa taas, like this capital T, nakikita natin, yung nasa taas ng baseline, which is yung line ng papel or notebook natin, or yung line ng nandito sa picture, that's what we called a sender. Yung mga buntot pero nasa taas. Hindi siya buntot pero nasa taas. So, that's what we called a sender. Next is below the baseline. Classic descenders are the little loop on a lowercase g or the lower half of a y. So, when we say descender, yun naman yung literal na buntot ng nasa baba. Like, yung nasa picture, yung small letter y, may mahaba pa siya sa baba. The small letter p, g, and y again. So, that's what we call descender. Pag nasa baba is descender, pag nasa taas is ascender, and pag nasa gitna is mean line, and yung mga lines is baseline. All letters forms have the basic parts, but their thickness known as weight, shape, and height all influence what family or type of fonts they fall into.
5 types of fonts. Number 1 is serif fonts. Serif fonts are the most classical original fonts. They are named for the little feet at the top and bottom of the letter forms. Serifs date back to the Romans who flared their brushstroke out to the top and bottom, creating what we know as serif. Serif typeface came in vogue in the 15th century and held court for 300 years. Even within this one designation, there are tons of smaller classification. Old style, classical, neoclassical, transitional. Well, a casual observer might lump them all together. A type geek can explain the subtle differences between the weight, ascender heights, and shape of the actual serif, give you clues to what era it was created in. For the non-type geeks, here's what you need to know. Serif fonts are ubiquitous in our day-to-day life. In nearly every book we read or document we open, hey there, Times New Roman. They are go-tos for logos and print copy and are generally considered to be the most trusted or conservative fonts on the planet. Our eyes love them for everything from short titles to long pages of text. Serif tend to be very thin and vertical lines very heavy. Didon fonts are often considered to be less readable than transitional or old-style serif typeface. Computer Modern is a popular contemporary example. Serif fonts have an stroke at the edge of its letter, while sans serif fonts don't have strokes. Number 2 is Slav serif fonts. Slav serif fonts are the fonts with the most impressive large serif. They are the louder cousins of the classic quiet serif that rose to prominence in the billboards, posters, and pamphlets of the 19th century. Designed to yield their message from a good distance, later they evolved into some more gentle forms like the ever-popular Clarendon that could work for longer paragraphs of text. Slav almost always bring a vintage vibe to a design, and they have a rugged athleticism that can't be denied. The classic forms work incredibly well for any brand relating to the outdoors, and the more refined modern versions always feel a little artsy, probably because almost every typewriter font is Slav serifs. In typography, a Slav serif, also called mechanistic, square serif, antique, or Egyptian typeface, is a type of serif typeface characterized by thick block-like serif. Serif terminals may be either blunt and angular, Rockwell, or rounded. A Courier, Slav serif were introduced in the early 19th century. Number 3. Sans serif fonts. Sans serif are fonts that lack little serif feet. They started popping in the mid-19th century but surely hit the big time in what's known as the modern era. In the 20s and 30s, they were considered new and flashy, like shorter skirts, and the Charleston dance craze. Fun fact, you will still see sans serif with the word gotistic in their name owing to people thinking they were crass and only good for advertising. In the mid-century, German designers ran away with the footless forms and created some of the fonts that remain popular and iconic to this day, like Futura and Helvetica. Sans serif are still considered the most economical, efficient, clean, and modern choice. They are also readable at a large range of sizes, and their less detailed shape have lent themselves incredibly well to digital screen. Sans serif are bold and a little bossy. While they work well for long paragraph text, they have always shown in larger uses like headlines and logos. They lack the strokes that distinguish a serif typeface, hence the use of the French word sans, which means without. Sans serif typefaces are often used to signify something clean, minimal, friendly, or modern. Some of the most popular sans serif typefaces are Arial, Helvetica, Open Sans, Calibre, and Verdana. Number 4. Script fonts. Script fonts are those that mimic cursive handwriting. They are separated into two categories reminiscent of a party invitation, formal and casual. Formal scripts, as the name implies, are the very fanciest scripts. They evoke the incredible handwriting of masters of the 17th and 18th century. They are immediately recognizable for their over-the-top curls, the flourishes that extend from the serif, known as washes. These are to be handled with care. Using them for extended amounts of copy can lead to your design resembling the Declaration of Independence that said they will never go out of style for wedding, invitation, romance book covers, and any design that wants to feel more historical. One of the main characteristics of script fonts is their fluidity and graceful curves. The letters are often joined together, giving them a flowing, cursive appearance that mimics handwriting. The thickness of the lines varies, and the letters often have additional decorative elements such as swashes, loops, and tails. Number 5. Handwritten fonts. Different from formal or casual script, handwritten fonts were difficult to find even 10 years ago. Handwritten fonts often lack the structure and definition of the letter forms in traditional script, instead mimicking the loop and flow of natural handwriting. They might also be technically sans serif and resembles your dad's all capital letters in a birthday card. The sheer range makes handwritten fonts difficult to describe, but the recent explosion of available forms is exciting to watch. Examples of handwritten typefaces include Kalam and Tilana.
Now, we are in the design principles and element of text. First is emphasis. Use different sizes, weight, color, contrast, and orientation to present text with greater value. So, when we say emphasis, dito is meron siyang iba't ibang size ng text, may iba't ibang color, and like may white, may black, and then merong maliit na font or text, and may malaki. Sa emphasis, parang dito nagsa-stand out yung main reason ng letter or main reason ng picture na to. Like, you are invited to our party. So, parang ang pinaparating nito is yung invited ka. That's why, yung invited ang nasa pinakamalaki. So, parang magsa-stand out yung pinaka-meaning ng letter or ng picture na to. Second is appropriateness. Using the right font, content, and tone of presentation based on the target audience or event. When we say appropriateness, the quality of being suitable or right for a particular situation or occasion. So, parang yung fonts niya or yung ginagamit na text dito is dapat suitable sa kung ano ang pinaparating ng letter or ng nasa picture. Halimbawa, magpapadala ka ng invitation for like birthday party, 7th birthday party. So, kung may team yung magpapaparty na yon, so dapat suitable din, akma yung team ng birthday party at saka sa letter na ipapadala. Next is space. Use space to create focus and strategically make others' text stand out. So, when we say space, parang gaya ng nasa picture na to, ang nagsa-stand out dito is Philippines. So, parang, and yung merong maliliit na text na nakikita natin sa isang gilid, parang yan yung dinidescribe niya yung sa description ng Philippines. So, parang magsa-stand out dito yung pinaka-main topic mo. Ganon. Number 4, alignment. Use text alignment to set symmetry, formality, or freestyle. So, sa nakikita natin sa picture, parang naka-align yung parang may sequence siya and naka-align yung mga letters or yung text sa mismong numbering niya. So, that's what we call alignment. Number 5, consistency. Use at least 2 or 3 colors, font styles, and designs. Design styles for the whole composition or content. When we say consistency, dapat at least 2 or 3 colors lang, hindi yung parang marami siyang colors na makikita kasi parang sa iba nga naman, pangit siyang tignan. So, when we say consistency, at least 2 or 3 colors lamang.
Formatted text. Formatted text is text that is displayed in a special specific style. In computer applications, formatting data may be associated with text data. To create formatted text, how formatted text is created and displayed is dependent on the operating system and application software used on the computer. Text formatting data may be qualitative, example family, or quantitative, example font size or color. It may also indicate a style of emphasis, boldface, or italics, or a style of notation. Examples, strike through or superscript. Purpose. The purpose of formatted text is to enhance the presentation of information. For example, in the previous paragraph, the italicized words are each followed by examples. At a glance, the reader can ascertain that there are 4 special words in the paragraph. The goal is to help the reader to obtain, understand, and retain the information. In computing formatted text, styled text or rich text is opposed to plain text is digital text which has styling information beyond the minimum of semantic elements. Colors, style, boldface, italic, sizes, and special features in HTML such as hyperlinks.
Next is copying formatted text. When you copy formatted text to your clipboard, formatting information may or may not be copied with the text data. For example, you select text one application that is boldface. You can copy it to your clipboard by pressing Ctrl+C. The formatting data is also copied to the clipboard, saying this text is bold. When you paste it, Ctrl+V, into a program that also supported formatted text, that formatting data is included and the pasted text should appear bold. However, if you paste the text into an application that does not support bold text, such as Microsoft Notepad, the paste text is unformatted. Notepad ignores the formatting information because it doesn't understand it. However, the plain text is pasted correctly. The same is true if you paste the formatted text into a text field, such as the address bar in your web browser, formatting data is stripped, but the plain text is pasted. So when we say copying formatted text, alam ko familiar naman tayong lahat. When we're using a laptop or such computer, ang ginagamit natin to copy a text is Ctrl+C, and when we paste it, Ctrl+V. Pero when we're using a technology like cell phones or tablets, ang ginagawa na lang natin is i-hold natin siya ng matagal, and then magsaselect tayo doon and pipindutin natin yung copy. Ayun.
Unformatted text. Unformatted text is any text that is not associated with any formatting information. It is plain text containing only printable characters, white space, and line breaks. It corresponds to a set of characters in the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. ASCII is a standard table of 7-bit designation for digital presentation of uppercase and lowercase Roman letters, numbers, and special controlled characters in teletype, computer, and word processor systems. When you type a particular letter using a word processor, the letter actually has an equivalent set of characters when translated into a computer program. Here is an example of unformatted text.
Hypertext. The principle of a hypertext make use of linking a text to another text in such a way that the user can navigate non-sequentially from one document to the other for cross-reference. The World Wide Web, WWW, combines computer networking, the Internet, and hypertext markup language, HTML, into an easy-to-use system by which people can access information around the world from a desktop computer. Hypertext is a medium used to transmit the information in a non-linear fashion via computer by clicking on a link using a mouse. We commonly think of links as the underlined text on graphical web browser such as Netscape and Internet Explorer, which, when we click it, takes us to a new document or other type of information. Before there was a graphical web browser, computer users could access link materials on the Internet by using a program such as LYNX, a non-graphical web browser. So, when we say hypertext, ito yung link na, gaya nung sa example ko kanina, ito yung link na kapag pinindot mo, or may makita kang link, kapag pinindot mo, mapupunta ka sa other browser or other apps. That's what we call the hypertext. Creating text files and using a word processor in one of the most common tasks on a computer. Below are the most common file extensions used with text files and documents. So, kapag ang ginamit natin is .doc and docx, Microsoft Word file daw yon. When we do the .odt, Open Office Writer document file naman yon. When you say .pdf, PDF file, portable document format. When we use naman the .rtf, rich text format naman yon. The next is the .tex, a latex document file. .txt, plain text file. .wpd, world perfect document.
Next is here's an example of text application software. Number 1. Word processing software. It is focused on line-by-line creation of text documents. Number 2. This desktop publishing. It is a software that allows complex pages of text and graphics to be laid out for publication, such as newspapers, magazines, brochures, and books. Itong word processing software ay isang uri ng applications na ginagamit para sa paggawa ng o pag-edit o pag-format ng mga dokumento na may teksto. Ginagamit din ito sa mga gawain tulad ng pagsusulat ng mga liham, paggawa ng ulat, at paglikha ng mga presentasyon. At ilan sa mga kilalang word processing software ay ang Microsoft Word, Google Docs, at OpenOffice Writer. Ano naman ang desktop publishing o ang tinatawag na DTP? Ito ay isang proseso na ginagamit para sa paglikha at pag-format ng mga dokumento gamit ng mga special na software. Ang mga dokumentong ito ay maaaring maglaman ng teksto, mga larawan at iba pang mga elemento ng disenyo at maaaring mailimbag o maipakalat sa digital na format. Ito ay ginagamit din sa paglikha ng iba't ibang uri ng material tulad ng mga brochure, mga poster, magazine, pahayagan o mga libro. Ilan sa mga kilalang desktop publishing software ay ang Adobe, Scribus at Microsoft Publisher.
Now, the standard features of word processing. All word processing application allows you to enter and edit text, save, print, cut, copy, paste, checking your spellings. Cut, copy, and paste, as you can see in the picture, pwede tayong using our technology or gadgets, pwede tayong mag-cut, copy, and paste. Alam kong familiar naman tayong lahat kung paano mag-cut, mag-copy, and mag-paste. Cut and copy work in a similar way. Highlighting a piece of text, right-clicking and selecting copy or cut will store the text in memory. The difference is that copy leaves the highlighted text behind, whereas cut removes it. To insert the copied or cut text into a different area of the document, a different document, or an entirely different application altogether, right-click and select paste. The use of cut, copy, and paste is not necessarily limited to text. Formatting text makes a document easier to read. You can change font types and size, change the alignment of text, left, center, right, or justified, bold text, underline text, italize text, and lastly, create bullet or numbers list. So when we say cut and copy, ito mas pinadali ito kasi parang ilolong press mo lang siya or right click or isa-select mo lang yung text mo, pwede mo na siyang pwede mong i-copy and i-paste na lang din. Hindi ka na mahihirapan na itatype mo pa uli, itatype mo all over lahat ng nasa text. When we say cut, pwede rin naman yun, isa-select mo yung word and pipindutin mo yung cut, matatanggal niya na yung sinelect mo.
Lastly, other features that may be expected include find and replace, which replaces one word with another, and the ability to import graphics, example from a clip art library. Headers and footers and page numbering are also very useful. Next is text information is considered the main mode of communication from which other media modalities are based from. You have a better understanding of the other modalities if you first appreciate the text and be more acquainted to the effective and efficient use of it for communicative purposes. Ang find and replace naman ay isang feature o tampok na matatagpuan sa karamihan ng word processing software at iba pang aplikasyon. At sa pamamagitan nito, maaari mong hanapin ang isang tiyak na teksto o pattern sa isang dokumento at palitan ito ng ibang teksto o pattern. Halimbawa, kung nais mong palitan ang lahat ng pagkakataon ng salitang halaman sa isang dokumento ng salitang puno, Maaari mong gamitin ang find and replace upang gawin ito na mabilis at madaling paraan. Ang headers at footers naman ay mga bahagi ng isang dokumento sa word processing software na karaniwang matatagpuan sa itaas ang header at sa ibaba naman ang footer ng bawat pahina. Sa header, dito mo maaaring ilagay ang mga impormasyon tulad ng pamagat ng dokumento, pangalan ng may akda, petsa o anumang iba pang impormasyon. Sa footer naman, maaari mong ilagay ang mga impormasyon tulad ng page number, copyright notice o iba pa.